When it comes to health and fitness, have you ever heard someone say, well, what's the point? Why should I work out? Why should I eat well? We're all going to die anyway. If you've ever heard someone say that, or perhaps you said that yourself, my goal isn't to convince you, but I'd like you to stick around for this next segment. My name is Ryan Sanders with Project Fresh. I'm the owner and lead coach for this company. And for over the last 13 years, I've helped people take control of their health, optimizing performance, and building sustainable habits that stick. As a certified strength and conditioning specialist and a certified sports nutrition coach, I've worked with everyone from athletes to busy professionals, coaching them through the real world science and addressing the real world challenges of fitness and nutrition. So here I share the stories, the lessons, and the systems that make long-term wellness possible. And so with that being said, I wanted to touch on kind of a different angle today. You might have heard it said before from somebody you know. Maybe, like I said, you've heard it said yourself. What's the point? Why should I care about my fitness, my health? We're all going to die anyway. It just doesn't make sense. And yeah, why? That's a good point. We've got so many different things going on. Life is stressful all day long, every day. In some cases, right? You might be living in a season where every waking moment of your life is absolutely stressful. You might have family related challenges, work deadlines, other responsibilities. Maybe you're living in a blended family. You've married someone that has kids. You have kids. There's all the dynamics that come with that scenario. Most of us can feel like or it's really easy for any of us, I should say, to feel like we're running on fumes. I've definitely been there myself. So what's the point? I'm exhausted. Why add another task to my plate? And that's what I want to talk about today. And so, I think I want to just say first and foremost that a lot of us, there's 100% mortality rate. With the exception of Jesus, there has been absolutely no one that hasn't died, right? So we know that is imminent. Now, again, I've shared that is our faith. We are believers in Jesus Christ, so that's where we operate from. That's our focal point. One of the points I'll make today ties back to my faith personally as a part of what we're talking about today. That being said, it's undisputed, right? We're all going to pass at some point in time. We don't know the day, we don't know the hour, but let me ask you this. Do you think and this is more for those who are parents or maybe even grandparents, do you think your kids want to spend the next 10, 20, 30, or 40 years having to address a poor mindset because you have poor health, because you decided to not exercise, because you decided to not eat well, and now you're dealing with challenging health circumstances? And before we go any further, because I don't want it to seem like it's a personal attack, would you feel that they would be happy if you did not leave them something financially or something legacy? It doesn't have to be necessarily financially. If you spent all that time focused on what was more important to you versus what you would leave behind for them, because that is in the way that I've seen people live is how we can be kind of quote timeless, right? So legacy, finances, and definitely health, relationships at the end of the day are what matters, right? Nobody is laying on their deathbed talking about, dang, I should have worked those extra 10 hours a week to make that extra however much money, right? Dang, I should have bought that last house or whatever, right? It's going to be about the memories. It's going to be about the quality of the relationship. I know some really wealthy people, their kids want nothing to do with them. And on the flip side, I know some really, really poor or broke individuals who their kids enjoy every moment of their time with their parents. So in the same sense, what is it that you want to leave behind? Because the whole point is that if you're checked out, you're moody, you're tired, you're just someone that nobody wants to deal with, and I'm sure we've all met those individuals, then, is that really leaving anything behind, right? And so in that context, then it's not so much about the time that you live, but the quality of the life you live. And hey, if you are living for yourself and your kids and everybody else doesn't matter, Well, okay, it's same story applies. If your health is not in great shape, how are you going to be able to have a clear and strong mind to continue to do the things that you do, right? Whatever it may be, however you may be making your money. If you're constantly in and out of the doctor's office dealing with issues, which a majority of the issues we face here in the United States are all preventable, there are the rare and more non-preventable things that can happen due to genetics and all that kind of stuff. But I'm speaking to the larger, vast majority of overweight, heart disease, cardiopulmonary challenges, an inflamed body, which translates to cancer and other challenges. Those are all preventable things. So how are you going to maintain that high level of performance and excellence to achieve those one plus however many zero figures you have after, if all of your money is going to the doctor and the hospital? Because we know how expensive our healthcare system is. So whatever it is that might be the motivation still applies. But again, it's more so about the quality of our life, which is my first point. I'm not here to try to instill fear in your life. I'm not here to try to uh, um, cause you to be more anxious. I've watched people who are very close to me have their lives either very disrupted for prolonged periods of time or end prematurely because they did not take care of their health. And now they're not here. And now there's no pick up the phone and have a conversation, right? They're gone. And those are the individuals that I would rather, enjoy still having conversations with about key parts of my life. My wife and I don't have kids. We're still considering it and the context of what we want to do in life. And with that being said, being a son, not being a father, there are those times where I'd love to talk to my dad, right? And so that's what I want to instill for number one is even for the high performers, we still have to ultimately pay the price with our health. We either paid it up front and we get to live that more ideal lifestyle down the road, or we pay it down the road, right? You've lived however you've wanted to live. You've made the decisions that you've made, and now here comes the consequences. And I'm living in a season where I decided something. I'm not choosing my consequences. And as far as I know, I don't think anybody else is choosing their consequences. No matter how much money you have to throw at something or time, the consequences can be unmovable, unshakable, and you have to live through them. So a lot of decisions we make really dictate what those consequences could be like, right? Not 100%, but definitely can move you in the right direction. So I think that's something for me for today rather is that number one, the quality of our health really does determine the experience, and we see it all around us. Number two, and as I mentioned, this is kind of more for me, but I think also more in the context of for those who feel called or driven or passionate, right? For me, this is very vocational in what I do. I feel called to this by God to do this work, to work with people in their health and their fitness, and to give them the very best experience they can as a coach so that they can go and be successful and sustain that throughout life. So that means, the medium or the measure for which I do that is my mind, my mouth, my body. And so to hold a high level of excellence, if you've ever worked with somebody or worked with multiple people, the challenges that come with working people when you get into the psychology of things, right? The mind leads the body, not the other way around. And so all the challenges and hurdles and things that can come with working with someone in that capacity, it can be taxing. It can really challenge you. It can really cause you to have to be patient, have to be diligent, have to really think about it. And so for me, if my body breaks down, then there goes my vehicle's ability to perform at the level I want to give my clients the best experience. And so whether you're serving others or you're just working to, take care of whatever it is that turns the wheel for you, keeps the needle on full blast, full interest, full passion, full mission, full vigor. Again, we have limited capacities. Our bodies are designed to only be able to do so much in a day, so much in a week, so much in a year. And of course, those capacities change as we get older. So still, that being said, when we get back to asking the question, Why is it worth it? Well, it doesn't even have to be about when your end date is, when you'll pass away. How about all the time leading up to it? What do you want for those hours? How do you want to spend those hours? Do you care if you're waking up groggy every day? Your energy is low, your stomach is hurting, you can barely keep your eyes open. Does that matter? Or would you rather be full of energy, stomach feeling good, mind buzzing, just very alert and sharp and clarity? Which scenario do you want? That's one reason. Number two, why I would look to persuade you seriously as to why this may actually make sense after all. Number three, there's a difference between being alive and or excuse me, yeah, there's a difference between being alive and truly living. Now, you guys may have seen this in different ways in life. The one analogy that comes to my mind is for people like Kobe Bryant, where we all know, if you've heard his name before, or you know a story, obviously you'll know that he has since passed due to a tragic helicopter accident. Him and his daughter, they've erected statues in his honor and his daughter's honor in LA around the Staples Center. Many murals have popped up since then in 2020 when that happened. Remember, it's January, early January, just going into the new year. That happened, and then March was COVID. It was just a wild year. But people look at him in not his physical prowess is not what they study so much as his mental prowess. And he was alive because he knew exactly what he was created to do, right? And some people even call it the flow state, where you were just so dialed in. You're so focused. You're so able to do the work that you do. It's just flowing. Like everything that's coming out of your mouth, everything that's coming out of your hands, everything that's coming out of your mind, your body. I talk a lot about this in athletics. It's just flowing, right? It's a stream of water. It's not blocked. It's moving. And so that's the thing that came to mind as far as an analogy of truly living. Now, if you know what your purpose is in life and you pursue that with all of your heart, with all your mind, according to the person that gave it to you, for me, I believe the Lord designed me to do what I'm doing. My mom used to tell us as kids, Sanders, my last name means helper of man. I'm totally 100% unequivocally believing this is what I was designed to do. And so I find myself in those seasons and times where I'm flowing. I'm in that state of just dial it in and taking care of what people need so they can go and live the life they need to and want to. And it feels good. It does. It feels purposeful. I feel like I'm truly living. But I'm sure you probably had the opposite happen too, where the one statement that comes to my mind and drives me nuts is just another day in the life, right? Or there's another thing that people say drives me nuts, but I think it's because I'm, truly, I feel like I'm living, and so it's a contrast, right? But they're just saying, hey, just another day. Just another day in paradise or something like that, right? I think that's what it is. And it's sarcastic to the fact that, yeah, I'm just getting by, or perhaps even worse, today's another day of hell that I have to live through and endure, right? Well, despite your circumstances and your environment, which we all have work relationships and other environments that are not great, for us, whatever it may be, again, exercising and eating well are two key things that can really turn it around and make all the difference. 2015 was exceptionally depressed, dealing with some hard challenges, was not progressing in the way that I wanted to in my job and in my business because I had started this already at that time. And so juggling between the two things, I'd find myself Saturdays and Sundays watching movies and shows, mostly movies, all weekend long, not even leaving my bedroom, not really talking to anybody. There's just a number of months that was going on. One day I had a friend reach out. She's an esthetician. She's like, hey, I'm going to do this Spartan race at AT&T Stadium. I got some friends coming in from around town. And are you going to be around? Would you like to go? I was like, sure, why not? It would be nice to hang out with some people. I go and I run that Spartan race. It's like 3.2, walking all throughout where the Giants play, the San Francisco Giants play. It's all the iconic aspects of that arena. If you follow San Francisco Giants at any time in season, where Barry Bonds smashed all those home runs, right? Sent them out into the bay. Where all the kayakers go paddling to get the ball, right? If you've ever seen any of those scenes, is where I ran that. And it just brought me alive. It just ignited me. in a way that I had never been ignited before. It was fun to be around others, challenging yourself physically. And they're like, well, there's a Tough Mudder up in Tahoe next weekend if you want to come with us. I was like, sign me up, show me the link, I'll pay it right now. And I went up with them and I met another guy that to this day, he just had his birthday a couple of days after Thanksgiving. I've stayed up with him since 20. So gosh, we've been staying up with each other now for 10 years. We met each other doing a Spartan race or a Tough Mudder and have stayed in touch all these 10 years, which is crazy. But that moment brought me out of that depression, that fitness, and it caused me to get back to eating well because I was 2012, 2013, 2014, and 2015, and just slid out, fell out, and I just ignited. And then 2016, I'm making the shift from full-time employee with the company I was working with to doing this full-time. I'm meeting, dating, and eventually marrying my wife, Juliana, which we're about to celebrate 9 years of marriage here in, 3 weeks? And just there was this huge shift. And I attribute it, of course, first and foremost to the Lord showing up in my life to provide those things for me, right? He provided the call from a friend. He provided getting to know my wife, and he provided those opportunities, those ways to bring myself out. And two, health and fitness. Again, taking care of the one body that I get in this life that we know, right? So I just wanted to, that last statement was a little bit longer, but, pursuing health can allow you to live the life you were created for at the end of the day. And I think that's something that is really important for us to all reflect back on. We're getting into the end of the year, so this is usually a time in the season for reflection. So I want to share that with you guys today. So again, Ryan Sanders with Project Fresh. We cover topics like this, like why is it even worth it? We're all going to die, right? What's the point? That was today's topic and gave you guys 3 different points. My experience and what I've seen with clients to share and contend that, yeah, there is a point. I think it is worth it. It's not easy. It's never going to be easy, but it's worth it. It's simple to do, and it's absolutely worth it because at the end of the day, it creates the diligence. It creates the ability to push through, and those all translate. I know I can push through harder on more difficult business things because I've pushed through harder on my fitness. And I still, when I have a season where I want to do well in my business, I'm trying to push myself hard physically because that helps. It helps me push through business mentally, spiritually, emotionally, all those other areas. So again, this is the kind of things we cover here at Project Fresh. If you like today's topic and you'd like to hear more about it, drop a comment for us. Let us know. Give us a follow. If you felt this was content you could vibe with, you could relate with, you can engage with, we appreciate it. If not, totally understand. We're just slowly but surely continuing to create content here to give ourselves consistency, but also content for the future too, because this is going to be moments for us to look back to and see what kind of season we were in. So I encourage you to do the same, whether it's journaling or podcasting, whatever it is you may do. If you have a topic that you've had a lot of experience with and feel that you can really speak to it, I think it's good to share our stories with others because we can learn a lot from each other, and no one person has the same experience, right? So that being said, I'll wrap it up. Ryan Sanders here, Project Fresh. We do this every Monday, 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for about 15 minutes. We went a little longer today. But until next time, I hope you guys have a great week, and a couple weeks away from Christmas coming up soon. So I hope you guys are doing well in this holiday season.